Good morning. Luis Gomez, Operations Section Chief Trainee with the Gold Team, Eastern Area Gold Team. It's Monday, September 18th, and I'll give you an operational overview of what's taking place on the Six Rivers Lightning Complex. So up here in the map, as you can see, that there's still, now it's just Marlow and Blue Creek administratively, and for ease of tracking, we've just incorporated copper into the Marlow, or into the Blue Creek, and Marlow will eventually, we'll have to figure out when we get there. Again, it is, they're coming together, some backing in here, but everything's generally pushing that way up into the wilderness, and a little bit more to the west, based off the winds. But that's what's happening. Again, not bad fire, not destructive, it's just cleaning up and doing good work up there in an old burn scar where we really can't put people for safety reasons. Coming around, letter buck, still really no movement at all. It's there, but it's in an old burn again, and a more recent burn versus the Blue Creek and Marlow. So it's really not moving at all. Coming around into Perch, fire is backing. Again, we have structure protection day and night out there. They're running their tests. They're getting everything organized, making sure everything's up and running for the communities along the river corridor. Butler Flat, Soames Bar, the confluence there at Klamath and Salmon River, and then Orleans. And again, we're just still evaluating and making sure where the fire is, and not doing any ignitions unless we need to. This is an important factor, that we just don't want to add fire to the incident that doesn't need to happen, and make it more destructive than what it's doing now. It's doing nothing but good. It's backing, it's cleaning up, has long residence heat, which is the cleanup activity that we want it to do, so that there's not leftover fuel for the future. So that's what's taking place on the Perch, and again, it's doing nothing but good, and then when we need to take action, you'll start to see that happen. Coming around over into Mosquito and Bluff, again, this is our activity planning map. We were trying not to do anything going to the south. Only if the fire was to push that way would we want to do any kind of work in there. As of right now, we're trying to push everything to the north and to the east there, with any kind of ignitions if we do that much at all, if at all. What we're using is an old prehistoric kind of burning, but we're using the UAS to do it for us. And so we're using the ridge lines, putting fire on the ridge lines, not a lot, maybe a quarter to half an acre at a time, and just letting it back, and that's where you will get your smoke. We're not doing a ton of ignitions, but it's going to be a long-term, not as deep of dark a smoke. The combustion will be better, it'll be more efficient, and so with that, you know, we're trying to take our time in getting this completed, and it's going to be a while again. And again, you know, as you see the lines here, this is really strong containment line, so that's being our numbers. This isn't strong, and this is going to take a while for us to turn this to a strong containment line like you see here. And the fact of it is, we just can't say it's contained and walk away from it, and then 4 days from now have an issue, and we don't look like we're doing our job or due diligence of containing this fire where it needs to be. And so again, the containment numbers I know are shrinking, and our acreage is going up, but it'll start to go the opposite direction here shortly. And as we come around with the activity here, we're also starting to look at ensuring that this, the Blue Creek can't come this way beyond this activity point. So we're starting to look at out in the direction. We are adding a Division O and Romeo. And so those Division O is in effect today. Romeo will be in tomorrow or the next day, but it's just for planning, being ahead of the game in advance of if a fire does push us to do our work. So that's where we are with this going on. Again, we may see some ignitions up in here today, but it's going to be very minimal. It's going to be very strategic and very purposeful. It won't just be firing to fire. We don't want to put bad fire in the ground. We want it to eat up the fuels that we need it to eat up and turn it back to the natural state where we actually have nice big timber, beautiful ground to walk in. So that's our intent with the firing we're trying to do here on this planned area. And with locally, just as a general view, beyond that, there was initial attack on the Klamath and the Six Rivers over the last 48 hours with the lightning, and both forests are aggressively putting those fires out now. So we're trying to prevent any more new starts, both the Six Rivers and Klamath National Forest. They're using heli repellers, smoke jumpers, engines, and crews still to eliminate any more new fire starts. Thank you and have a good day.